To one who has faith, no explanation is necessary. To one without faith, no explanation is possible. Beware the man of a single book. There is nothing on this earth more to be prized than true friendship. We must love them both, those whose opinions we share and those whose opinions we reject, for both have labored in the search for truth, and both have helped us in finding it. Fear is such a powerful emotion for humans that when we allow it to take us over, it drives compassion right out of our hearts. The soul is like an uninhabited world that comes to life only when God lays his head against us. The things that we love tell us what we are. Grant me, O Lord, my God, a mind to know you, a heart to seek you, wisdom to find you, conduct pleasing to you, faithful perseverance in waiting for you, and a hope of finally embracing you. Amen. The study of philosophy is not that we may know what men have thought, but what the truth of things is. Better to illuminate than merely to shine, to deliver to others contemplated truths than merely to contemplate. Sorrow can be alleviated by good sleep, a bath, and a glass of wine. Most men seem to live according to sense rather than reason. Wonder is the desire of knowledge. For those with faith, no evidence is necessary. For those without it, no evidence will suffice. How is it they live in such harmony, the billions of stars, when most men can barely go a minute without declaring war in their minds? Because philosophy arises from awe, a philosopher is bound in his way to be a lover of myths and poetic fables. Poets and philosophers are alike in being big with wonder. I would rather feel compassion than know the meaning of it. I would hope to act with compassion without thinking of personal gain. Rarely affirm, seldom deny, always distinguish. Love follows knowledge. There must be a first mover, existing above all, and this we call God. Obedience unites us so closely to God that it in a way transforms us into Him, so that we have no other will but His. If obedience is lacking, even prayer cannot be pleasing to God. We can't have full knowledge all at once. We must start by believing, then afterwards we may be led on to master the evidence for ourselves. Friendship is the source of the greatest pleasures, and without friends, even the most agreeable pursuits become tedious. Three things are necessary for the salvation of man: to know what he ought to believe, to know what he ought to desire, and to know what he ought to do. Faith has to do with things that are not seen, and hope has to do with things that are not in hand. The happy man in this life needs friends. God is never angry for His sake, only for ours. It is necessary for the perfection of human society that there should be men who devote their lives to contemplation. It is not theft, properly speaking, to take secretly and use another's property in a case of extreme need, because that which he takes for the support of his life becomes his own property by reason of that need. A song is the exultation of the mind dwelling on eternal things, bursting forth in the voice. Man has free choices, or otherwise counsels, exhortations, commands, prohibitions, rewards and punishments would be in vain. Nothing which implies contradiction falls under the omnipotence of God. While injustice is the worst of sins, despair is the most dangerous, because when you are in despair, you care neither about yourself nor about others. Man should not consider his material possessions as his own, but as common to all, so as to share them without hesitation when others are in need. The human mind may perceive truth only through thinking, as it is clear from the Augustine. It must be said that charity can in no way exist along with mortal sin. Mercy without justice is the mother of dissolution. Justice without mercy is cruelty. To make peace either in oneself or among others shows a man to be a follower of God. It is better to illuminate than merely shine. By nature all men are equal in liberty, but not in other endowments. Our manner of knowing is so weak that no philosopher could perfectly investigate the nature of even one little fly. Knowledge depends on the mode of the knower, for what is known is in the knower, according to the measure of his mode. Friendship makes you feel as one with your friend. Temperance is simply a disposition of the mind which set bounds to the passions. Nothing can be known, save what is true. It has become the fashion to talk about mysticism, even to pose as mystics, and, need it be said, those who talk the most on such subjects are those who know the least. The slenderest knowledge that may be obtained of the highest things is more desirable than the most certain knowledge obtained of lesser things. Now, in matters of action, the reason directs all things in view of the end. Further, nothing except sin is contrary to an act of virtue. But war is contrary to peace. Therefore war is always a sin.